All right, so we're gonna do some more tests with the 10K SGP by SunGoldPower. So what you're looking on your screen is page 7, which is kilowatts going out. That's 0, and then this is the shunt, and that is fluctuates between 75 and 95 watts, and that just shows idle power consumption if that shunt is accurate. Now you can go to setting number 22. And that there's like a low power mode, and I believe that's already enabled, but that does not change the idle power consumption. I keep that on just because why not? So yeah, right now we're kind of at nothing in, nothing going out. Well, one complaint I have about this is the screen keeps on turning off. So I had to do this simple test a couple times just because it kept on doing the screen. So I'll try to remember to kind of like do a quick button press, but we'll just go through some tests here. So first one we're going to try to do is the water heater. Now this is a 50-gallon water heater. I'm going to do this one first because I can turn this one on without connecting to the entire house. So you'll have a good representation of how efficient it is, input versus output. So let's see, hopefully it kicks in here. All right, there it goes. All right, now you can see it ramped up, 4.7 kilowatts out, 4.9 kilowatts. So you can get a rough idea of the, and it's rounded, of course. So you can get a rough idea of the efficiency. So let's go ahead and turn that off. Now I'm going to backfeed to the entire house. Again, I'm just going to press here so it doesn't time out on me again. I'm going to backfeed to the entire house. Well, now it's 100 watts idle, a little bit higher. So now the output is pretty much the whole house. I have most everything turned off right now, but obviously there's lights and fridges, and the wife is watching the TV right now. Let's do the stovetop, and I got a 4-top burner. So we'll turn all 4 of those on. I never use all 4 burners, but let's see what it can do. All right, little burner, big burner. Not sure which one that is. Another little burner and another big burner. Let's see what that did. Hopefully my screen didn't time out. Okay. Yeah, 8.3 kilowatts. Very nice. Okay. So let's turn that off. And then we're going to do the oven. I got a double oven shown on the side screen. Start the top. So should get a reading on that. All right. And now the second half. Okay. So now we got the oven, both ovens on. Preheating. So what do we add here now? A little bit less than the 4 burner tops, just kind of surprising. But those are both resistive loads, so we'll turn those off. So the last big appliance, and those are both 35 amp circuits. Last appliance is a 30 amp circuit. It's my dryer. But it is, where those were both resistive loads, this is an induction load, meaning it does have a motor. But mostly resistive, but we're going to try it out anyways. All right, fire this up. Okay, so that's the dryer pictured on the side there. I would have liked video and video, but I just don't have that kind of software right now. So that's what the dryer looks like. Oh, shoot, you know what? Of course. Always timing out. Annoying. You know what? This thing uses 80 watts or whatever. Would it kill him to let it use 1 more watt to keep the screen on? I hate that. I don't know. It's just really annoying. It does not save any power. Okay, so yeah, that's using whatever 6.5, and then kilowatts minus whatever the idle was there with just the lights and TV on. Turn that off. Okay, so back to normal. Last thing we're going to try to do is, depending on if the thermostat will let me, and this is a big load. It is an air conditioner, compressor, well, whole unit, because you got to run the compressor and the indoor blower, outdoor compressor, indoor blower. But I'm going to try to turn on the air conditioning, and it might not catch it, but there's going to be one heck of a surge. AC compressor, here we go. Might be too not hot enough to kick it in, but this one does struggle more than my low frequency 6K. So we'll give it a couple more minutes and I'll add it down as needed. All right, I dropped the temperature a little bit, so it should force it to turn on. Okay. Yeah, it is not turning on. All right. Let's turn that off. Let's see if we can do it with the, move over here. That one doesn't kick on. Let's see if the low frequency one does. Okay. That on idle. All right. So this one I have going through a separate transfer panel. All right, it's on standby, so we'll turn it to generator. Okay. Let's try that. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. All right. That one did turn it on. So, actually, let me turn that off. And maybe we can catch the surge on there. Okay. This time. So, minus 23, 1.2 kilowatts. So, again, you're going to have to just do the math. Let's try to turn this on again. Yeah, look at that, like 100. I caught 108 amps. Yeah, it might even be higher than that, just because that's not fast enough to catch that initial inrush current. But anyways, that's about it for the testing. Any questions, let me know. Again, this is the 10K SunGoldPower. Does really good with the PV and more resistive loads and moderate inductive loads. It's just not designed for the huge inductive loads of a HVAC system. But overall, always happy with it, and together they work good for me. So, all right, like, share, and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.